ये कोई पुराना मैसेज है. I am seeing the message now. Brinda says, feeling like Nisardat Maharaj is here. I see it now. 22nd November. 22nd November. Oh, I think that was from Tirunamalai. Yes. Wow, that's good. Because this retreat, we were concentrating so much on the teachings of Bhagavan. It was very deep. Actually, very deep. I'm still grounding myself. It seems like it's a different world. When you come back from Tirunamalai, I came to Bangalore and slept for hours, many hours. And then I got up and was with my friend for some time, and then again caught the night train and again slept for hours, long time. And then I came today morning, watched a little TV, and again slept for hours and got up sometime back and watched the movie Inception. You must watch that movie Inception. I watched it because we had a deep discussion in the retreat on the same, on reprogramming the subconscious mind. And we did many stuff where we can actually take control over our so-called life. It's an illusion to say that take control of our life because, of course, something governs us even higher. But yes, we have set out on this journey as per the final divine plan only. But then we choose our independent experiences of what we plan to do on this planet or any other planet or any other loka. We have been traveling through multiple dimensions, up and down. And for a long time, we have been doing this thing. In the retreat, we realized how we are doing that. So the retreat was really deep and we could contemplate closer to what Nisardat Maharaj says. And I asked the entire team to make their textbook this year. I am that. From here on, level 2 guys will not need to any kind of scriptures, not really needed. But they're only contemplating scripture will be I am that. That is if we want to prepare for level 3, which is the final level in November 2025, 1 year from now. So it's stabilizing. We learned it is stabilizing Shaktopaya level. We are already doing Shaktopaya level, but to stabilize it, we need some very good practices. And we need a very strong and stern intellect, without which it is nearly impossible to come closer to even level 3. So levels are not about some kind of dikshas or initiations. They are just introduction to certain vibrations, certain frequencies, certain level of consciousness where one can tap and with certain ways can stabilize that consciousness. I even told the people these can be easily called as dikshas because after some sessions, it is so deep that you simply get lost for even hours and you don't know. It seems like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and hours can pass by in samadhi. I was watching everybody's in still samadhi. I never expected it because it's not my plan. Even I'm made to do certain things like everybody is brought there, even I'm brought there. So I do not know. So even I was astonished to see everyone so settled right from day one. And because everybody was settled, we were able to simply dive deep right from day one. without wasting time. And that gave us a lot of time to have deeper grip in the rest of the 7 days. 1 week, everybody could do. And especially those who had come for even level one, I believe it was a great time, 9 days. So they could stabilize it even deeper. So sitting in samadhi without the spine getting tilted, I believe is a great achievement for hours together. Can only happen with the grace of Arunachala. And after these sessions, I was just telling people that that leap in consciousness will be felt here. Some leap, you can't explain it. That will certainly be felt. Now, I can give that a terminology as Diksha. Doesn't take much time because the experience is very tangible. But what I was trying to tell people was I'm just facilitating certain things and you guys are already doing it. You guys are doing it. That's the difference. That's the difference where you get confidence that you can do it. A little bit of guidance here and there. You can do it. Shaktopaya means guidance is needed. Shambhopaya means no guidance. You're on your own. So, studying the past 2 to 3 years, I get a very good understanding of the script that people are getting because it is now palpable to me. It is right now in front of me. I had no idea when I had begun, even what I'm going to teach or what I'm going to share. I just began, and whatever spontaneously came, it happened. And I can see now a beautiful roadmap being created. Roadmap because with the programs we did, the webinars, the sessions, the retreats, and how it progressed automatically without any thinking, any logical plan. From there, I can see the programs, and I can also see the people who were associated with this group, which I call the SIA family or SIA. Somebody told me it's SIA. That is the reason I'm calling it SIA. So for the past 2 to 3 years, all the people whom I saw on this path and whom I've been frequently in touch with, or who have been frequently in touch with me, reciprocal. I can when I monitor what they were before, or they themselves monitor what they were before, and where they are now, or how they feel they are now. Even when I look at them, I can understand because the stability which is there. Based on that, I can understand. And that gives me a very good confidence as to if what practices you do, where will you be led to? And all the people who came there were very consistent people because we took only, those who have attended previous retreat only, we allowed. That was a protocol. New people were not allowed. So, anyways, these were all oldies who had done. Oldies means 2 to 3 years, not more than that, because the platform only started 3 years back. So, in 2 years, you can say on an average, it can give you this leap of consciousness. It can give you this spiritual evolution if you follow a certain way of life. And you can see there is no Anvopaya methods here at all. Anvopaya means nothing ritual, nothing external, nothing of the outside. It's all based on your awareness and mind and intellect. But at the same time, it has been very challenging for both the seekers and me to get rid of the concepts. Concepts take you nowhere. All your concepts and philosophies and all your external outlook to religion, Guru Mandala, objects, holy objects, yantra, tantra, mantra, lead you nowhere to what I am talking about. Shaktopaya means being ready to give up all this, without which you cannot progress to being your own light. You cannot find that key which is in your own hand. You have the key to your own unwinding. If that step is not taken, you will remain forever inclined entangled, or clinging to something or the other outside. Maybe even a philosophy, maybe even a concept, maybe even a technique, maybe even a belief. And until even one of these or even a fraction of this is there, you cannot attain the self. This is from experience that I say. This is from references that I say, like the holy scriptures of Devi Kalotra, revealed by Shiva himself. There he doesn't boast or talk anything about any kind of external clinging. And that is not for all. Devi Kalotra is not for all, neither are these retreats for all. Neither what I talk is for all, right now also. It's not for everybody. It is only for a limited section of people or seekers who are ready to take the plunge. This is not for everybody. Shifting into awareness is good for you to begin and have clarity on the path and know who you are, where you are going, and lot of things. It can give you secrets and details about the path. It can give you all that. But to proceed further, there are stronger filters. Not everybody gets through that. It's not that it is my plan. It is simply that if the seekers are not ready for that final plunge, they simply cannot align with the frequency of those teachings. It is not about being interested. Your interest doesn't matter at all here. Nobody's interest matters here. Because it is human, it is a human mind, it is a human greed to just know the secrets and just want to know everything and want to get everything. That's a natural tendency in human beings, but that will not take us on this path. In fact, I even told level two people that if you do not stabilize here, you risk again shifting back into Anvapaya, that is level one. And this is very automatic. Nobody is there to put you here and there, push you in this level or that level. Consciousness, cosmic intelligence takes care of it based on your internal preparation, based on your internal clarity, fearlessness, courage, and intensity, mumukshatva. There are many other factors which the cosmic intelligence automatically scans through, especially pure intentions, sincerity, perseverance, honesty, depth, and of course, your where you have reached on the path according to the level of consciousness, based on all your cumulative effects of so many lifetimes. Multiple factors are there. So we are no one to decide that. But I can see as we open up those details, only those people who are willing and ready can get through those filters and automatically reach those states. There is no amount of human intervention here. I see this very clearly. I have been seeing, and that's how it gives results. But of course, not to the masses, not in a bulk, very limited. It especially takes care of the ego aspects also. A lot of humility is needed, a lot of humbleness and down to earth is needed, a lot of narrowness is needed as to narrowing from hundreds and thousands of things. If one is still involved with hundreds of teachers and masters and philosophies and religions and paths and organizations and so many things, then Anvopaya, it's better. And that is why I tell the people also follow, follow those paths. Whichever people are doing, they must follow that path only. There is no point in seeking hundreds of other paths and then putting the head here or peeping to know what's happening here. If someone peeps, they won't peep for long. Automatically, something will happen and they move out. That is because of our readiness. One truth is enough from me. Forget everything. One truth that I bluntly speak that is enough to shatter many people's comfort zones or egos and beliefs and shatter them and make them run back or run out of fear. Those things will not stop anyways because truth is very blunt. And that is why we give reference to people like Jiddu Krishnamurti, whom even Osho, a person like Osho, even called Jiddu Krishnamurti as Ashtavakra because Jiddu had a very sharp intellect, which is needed. That precision is needed to be free. And those are the final states, which can lead to the teachings of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Ramana. See, it is easy to listen to Ramana. It is easy to like the posts of Nisarga or Ramana. Very difficult to live it. Here, in shifting into awareness platform, we always talk about living. We do not talk about parroting teachings from different gurus because we always are bombarded on the internet, social media by so many teachings. We spend our life in busy liking these posts and going forward. This is what our life is. Like or just see, be just entertained, move on. This takes us nowhere. Even if 10 years you keep on doing this, liking posts, liking Nisarga, liking Ramana, nothing is going to happen. People who cannot practice, it's very difficult. Practice is the ground of what you learn. Smarana, Chintan, Manan, all these reflections, what you listen is fine. Smaran, you listen. And then while you listen, you are contemplating. These skills are needed. If what happens most of the time, people who listen to satsangs and YouTube videos and even many gurus have only one quality, Smaran, Shravan. It's called Shravan, the act of listening keenly. Maximum they might listen keenly. But there is one more point which we add in shifting into awareness. You are needed. You'll see all the people sitting here for satsang will have that quality. It's simply not Shravan. Newcomers will begin with Shravan. Shravana is just listening and being stimulated, where your logic is still playing. And then there are judgments, opinions, and conclusions of what is said based on your beliefs and memories. So, something that is there in your belief and concept might not be coming from the speaker. So, if somebody is just in that listening mode, Shravan mode, they will listen, but they cannot gain more because they will still judge and they will navigate according to the like and dislike, according to their own comfort and discomfort of how that teaching is. That is what I call as selective teachings. Many of the seekers in my life I've seen, many why I can say 80 to 85% of the seekers that I've met in my past 25 years are all selective learners. They catch only what they like. They they have one guru, and let's say 100 teachings comes. In that, they will follow around 50 or 60 teachings. Or let's say 5 to 6 of 10 teachings are accepted, 4 are discarded because that doesn't suit their comfortability. That's called selective learning from one teacher itself. Then, when the comfort goes deeper and they want more comforts to suit the adaptability into their lives, they seek more further truths and they begin with multiple teachers. So they are involved in multiple teachers. What they do here now from every teacher, again, selective learning. They choose what suits their comforts. And from there, again, the fun is sometimes they choose one or two teachers out of that, which suits their comforts and egos and beliefs. Very unfortunate situation. This is a very subconscious act, which I want to tell you. This is not a very conscious act. People are not even aware of this thing. But since this has been my profession for so long, and my experiences show all these things. From this, now I know what are the weak points, where the downfall of seekers are, why seekers don't proceed, where are they caught up, what are their obstacles, self created obstacles, what are the pros and cons. I can clearly point out. But I can unfortunately point out only again to those who are ready to even listen to these truths. For example, if somebody realizes about their selective learning, then only they are ready to listen to further. Otherwise, it's the same thing because, again, from what I say, only what they like they will choose, and the rest they will throw it away. But I'm glad this level 2 retreat people are not that way. They understand the wholesomeness of the teachings. They might refer to hundreds of places or books or things, but they are having crystal clear clarity of where they are heading and where they stand. They might not be fully free. They might still be having fears, or they might still have some unresolved issues in life, but that's okay. But they have clarity on the path and they are steadfast, and that is the reason they are there where they are. If I may be asked to, I can even demonstrate and show examples of people who have been 10 years doing the same thing and have not reached anywhere. And I can show three, four people who have just done it for 1 or 2 years and got there. The juniors and seniors, so called, can be seen here. Juniors can literally overtake seniors. If seniors are on the selective learning and on the comfort zone, and if juniors are not on selective but on ruthless and straight learnings of the truth and eagerness to go ahead, throwing away all the kind of comfort zones and ready to break their self built empire of concepts and philosophies and beliefs and conditions, they will accept. I'm telling, we had two children there, 9 and 11 years old. Children. I can tell they are more sharper than many seekers I have met in my life. Their intellect. They are not children because they are continuing from their past life. They have done all this running around in their previous lifetimes. All the Anvopai methods they have done in their previous lifetime. That is why they are born ripe. So we cannot call them as children. They are just having new bodies, but they are old souls because they are already illumined. And one thing I can challenge, these kind of children can never be made fanatics. Try how much ever you can. Not just do this. There are many children of this generation, but they must be found and sharpened. They will be found because it's a natural way. It's all the play of consciousness which takes care of everything. There are many children out there who, with a little polish, can understand even more than what we understand. I've even told this before. Just wait for 10 years. What I am doing, the work that I am doing, the same work that I'm doing. 9 to 15-year-old children will be doing. I can see that. I've not read this anywhere. My strong intuition tells me this. And my experience with children also tells me this. Jokingly, I was telling everybody that if we are elder or if we are in the ripe stage of our life, we might envy these children, that or we might feel that we should have come earlier, or these things should have been known to us in our childhood. It doesn't happen that way. It's simply a journey, evolution that's happening. The only thing is, if we don't complete the cycle, if we don't take it seriously, then yes, we have the opportunity of coming back as divine children in our next birth, somewhat like this. And that is what these children are. They couldn't complete their journeys. These are all old guys only, taken new births. They are much older to us. What I'm trying to say is, on their journey, when they are ripened, they begin from Shaktopaya. They cannot be caught up in Anvopaya. The children, you must watch out. Watch out the children who have no interest in Anvopaya. Anvopaya means all the external rituals, karmakanda, prayers, worship, puja, or even external teachers, external philosophies, scriptures, religion, all these kind of things, outside things, who do not have any interest but are deeply spiritual otherwise also. Keep a watch on such children. Don't try to impose your Anvapaya methods. Your Anvapaya methods are your insecurities. Even if you try, it's not going to work out because they are Shaktopaya children. They have awareness, and their journey begins from awareness. They begin from work. Their tapasya is from the mind level, not from the physical level, not from the external. They begin their journey from internal. I was surprised to see these kids every session being there, almost every session, like elders, and sitting patiently, nischala, without the fickle mindedness, without eagerness, because at this age, children are wanting to play around and distracted by outside things and mobile and things like that. And here they can be seated without that. That's a great achievement, actually. That's why I treat these children as my gurus, because they sit and sometimes even correct me. And I've given them permission to ask any question, point out any time, anywhere, because they are on that level which I am talking. Why I'm pointing out to these children is because sometimes the elderly ego in us feels that we are very great with these Anvopaya methods by being there, by doing so much, we do this, we do that. We are involved in so many activities, in seva activities. We are doing so much of bhajans and sankirtans. We are doing so much of tapas and sadhanas, hours. We are running around here and there to so many places. We have so many levels of dikshas. And ये आजकल के बच्चे, it will be a lot of time till they come to us. Sorry, my dear. You guys are still in Anvopaya practices. They who do not relate to this, they can simply sit quietly. You might feel they have not taken levels of training. They don't need it. I'm telling you, they don't need it. Elders, it is very difficult to talk about these things because elders are still stuck. Everybody loves to be a bird in the cage. And that is why so many systems are made outside, ready to catch the birds, chop their wings, put them into the cage, and teach them the parroting language. It's very unfortunate to sometimes see this. And it's not very wise to point out also directly because you can get crucified. Because the herd doesn't understand this. They think what the maximum does is always right. They have never investigated. They have never used their intellects because their intellects have been chopped. Their intellects are their wings that have been chopped. Now the bird cannot fly without wings, and you cannot fly. A seeker cannot fly without intellect. Your intellect has been bound. In this platform, we begin with the intellect only, all to sharpen the intellect. I'm sure this will not be told very easily because if this illumines, you can see through all the nonsense of this world. So closing this only, all the other practices are given. It is good. It is good to have these Anvopaya because those are foundations. Without foundation, nobody can fly into Shaktopaya. I don't say nobody needs Anvopaya. What is Anvopaya? Shaktopaya and Shambhopaya. These are three levels in Kashmir Shaivism, Shiva Sutras. Whatever I am talking here, most of the time has been ridiculed as and has been looked like a competition. This is what I say here. Because it's easy for the mind to take this as competition. This is not competition, this is evolution. Read and study Shiva Sutras, you will see it is an evolution from all the Karma Kanda, from doing to being. Read the Upadesharam, read Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna talks about the progression. It begins with Karma Kanda, it begins with Karma Yoga, it progresses into Bhakti Yoga, then it progresses into Raj Yoga, inward. That is where shifting into awareness is beginning, the inwardness, awareness. And finally, it leads to Jnana Yoga, where Krishna tells this is the ultimate to liberation. This is the royal path, he calls it. Krishna calls Jnana Marg as the royal path to liberation after all the preparation. So, what is so difficult? How can this be called competition? How can Gyan Marga and Karma Yoga or Gyan Marga and Bhakti Yoga called as competition? They all complement each other. In fact, Ramana talks about Bhakti Yoga and Gyan Yoga as one. Gyan without Bhakti is dangerous and Bhakti without Gyan is dangerous. In Shaktopaya, level 2 retreat, we learned how to add Bhakti into Gyan. And we even demonstrated, we even practiced and experienced what is the change and what is the leap when Bhakti Yoga is added to Jnana Yoga. All through the practice of Vimarsha, experiences, vibration. What we did in level 2 was Spandana, Nadi Yoga, you can see. It starts from that level of Spandana. Because everything is vibration. From light, it turns to vibration. From vibration, it turns to matter. Matter is what you call as Anvopaya. You go one step up, what created matter? You will see it is vibrations. Vibration is Shaktopaya, and that is what we did. And where does the vibration come from? Light. How light gets transmuted to vibration. That is all the trainings of Shaktopaya. And Shambhopaya is light, being in light, being in light, being. There's nothing to do there. By the time one reaches level 3, there is absolutely nothing to do. It is just be. But without strong preparation of Shaktopaya, you cannot be. Without letting go of Anvopaya while practicing Shaktopaya, you cannot reach Shambhopaya, third level. First level has to be thrown out completely. And that is a challenge while one transitions from the first level to second level. Due to whatever fears or beliefs or conditions or programming, you have been hypnotized by systems. You've been hypnotized by those external formalities because externality gives you some kind of security. So it's very scary for many people. And thus they remain in that level, thinking one day some magic will happen and things will fall in place. Even I used to think the same. And without the grace of Arunachala, I wouldn't have realized this. I would have remained doing the same things. How to know am I ready for Shaktopaya? If you have strong inclination to external practices, then you cannot stabilize for Shaktopaya. But many times seekers are doing the level one practice of external practices, but from internal they are unable to coordinate with that. Some people are there, some seekers, though they are in the bracket of external practice, but they are no more able to. Once upon a time they were, now they are no more able to relate. The interest, the depth doesn't happen anymore. Things might seem like it is like stopped, evolution has stopped. A certain kind of stuckness will come, confusion will come, doubts will start arising. One will question and re-question, am I doing the right thing? And one will begin seeking what needs to be done when this is happening. Yeah, I can see some are running when I talk about these things. And these are the people I quietly take off from updates because they are not ready and simply some time pass, some curiosity, some secret or something, or some masala, pickles. They do hundreds of things here and there, and they want to take little bit from here and there and add masala in their spiritual journey. We are not masala givers here. We remove all the, we scrape it out here. I scrape out, and it's very painful. So, one who is willing and knowing and has maturity, it's never painful for them. It's only for the ignorant. So, that time, these kind of practices, there will be a lot of doubts from within. And those things don't work. And that is the reason people come here. Things are not working. Things are not going as it was before. Anvopaya is not working. What is happening is internally they are having a deep pull towards second level practices, that is mind and awareness level. But their strong beliefs of those level one conditions do not allow them to settle. Even though most of the things don't work. So it's like heavy investment here and there. There are some beliefs that they have caught up there, and that belief is their security. So there is scare, there is fear. I don't want to let go of that. So yes, it is a little difficult in the start, but as one sees that when they are moving ahead, it is not a competition. It is not two different paths. Anvopaya and Shambhopaya, Shaktopaya are not two different paths, or Shambhopaya. These are not three different paths. These are progressions, evolutions. You cannot call the four yogas, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga, and Jnana Yoga as four different paths. They are all evolution, progressions. If you want more clarity, do Upadesh Saram, which is there in the courses, shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You'll find Upadesharam in Hindi and English. Get a clear picture what's happening. Then you'll know what is happening in your life is very natural, nothing to be scared about. And you'll see this is simply the grace of the divine. It's all coming from the grace of the divine that you are led from one to the other. It's a evolution that's happening. The logic mind, the ego mind, takes this as competition. And I'm so surprised to see even teachers of these different levels, Anvopaya, Shaktopaya, have come under that ignorance. And then they feel, take it as competition. Unfortunate. But nevertheless, everything will straighten out once one begins to follow their hearts. This is where we strongly emphasize here. Follow your hearts because the key is within you. Till you feel the key is with somebody else, some teacher out there, you're going to be always clinging to their conditions. You can never be free. So, in level two, what we deeply even contemplated is that no one saves you, no one can save you. Though your mind might project something outside, what you see outside is just a projection and illusion. You might not understand. You might think this is a philosophy. It's not a philosophy. If you're a deep contemplator, you'll understand they are all projections. Tell me, which of your projections help you? You are in certain kind of a belief. Some people, that belief also doesn't come true. That belief also is not working, but the belief is so strong. You want to hold on to just it. Why? Because wherever you look, everybody is having the same belief. So that's what the herd is about. Herds always move in groups. People who are moving towards freedom are alone. They become more and more single minded because these are the people who truthfully know they came alone, they will go alone. And these people, when they contemplate into their life, they will see that they are living alone also. This will not be taught in those levels outside. You will be taught that there are hundreds around you. You will be taught that your family is around you all the time, cling on to them. You will be taught that there is a community around you, cling on to them all the time. You will be taught that your teachers are around you, cling on to them all the time. Unfortunately, when you deepen your experiences and see, you'll see that none of them are with you. That is why most of them, when they realize they will be finding it that not only that they came alone and they are going alone, they will find out that shockingly they have been living alone. How much ever people you gather around you, how much ever families, how much ever whatever expansion you want to do. If you are a true seeker, you will realize even in all that herd, even in all that crowd, you are alone. You will understand that nobody really understands you. You might pretend that your community understands you. I challenge you, sit down and see who understands you. Other than yourself, nobody can understand you. Even your spouse, your closest person cannot understand the deepest you. Only you can understand yourself. But we fail to face ourselves. We fail to face the truth and we remain clinging. And thus, every moment we suffer. Because all those who believe their saviors are outside or there is company always outside, you'll see them all the time restless. There is a certain kind of restlessness because their subconscious knows what they believe is not true. Somewhere they know that they are alone, but the mind ego doesn't want to accept it. So the mind ego clings on to some false projections and pretends it is safe. Conscious mind feels it's safe, subconscious reveals and keeps revealing it is not. This inner conflict keeps one restless. That is why, whatever practice you do, I've seen people, they are still restless. There is some kind of fear in them. Despite all the assurance from all the outside saviors of scriptures and people, still there is scare. Here, at least, we must realize, when are we going to see the truth? The ones who take a little courage to see the truth will simply begin deeper reflections. And those are the people I always look for, because only those people can be revealed. The next level of evolution. You cannot pass through others. And that is why my interest has always been with less people, quality people on the path. And that is why they see results also. Very quickly, very deeply. They're quickly moving towards their path of becoming self-reliant, self-dependent. They are mastering their own self because they know they have to handle their own ships. They are in training. They have support here. Here also they are told that you cannot cling on to me or this platform forever. There is going to be an expiry date here. Be prepared before. So people are aware. Seekers are aware. And they are confident because they can see themselves loosening up and getting a grip on their lives. So that tells them deeply from within, yes, if we have been led till here by something, that something shall lead us further also. So the key is within oneself, can be told to everybody. Some might take it just as Shravan. Oh, nice teaching. And they might polish their fear and say, okay, the key is in my hand. But how? Nobody wants to investigate. Nobody wants to go deep. Nobody wants to reflect. So, Shravan, what I was telling is something that you just listen. And based on listening, you take it or you leave. Like I say, no, in these 3 sessions, people come to listen. And if it suits them, they will just take it, or they will be around with their eyes open, trying to again satisfy their own beliefs. Shravan. But if it is not appealing, it is disturbing to the mind ego, shut it down. And they come back again. I've seen that pattern. They exit when they hear something that's not good to their belief, and they return again to listen. That means the subconscious is telling them there is something truth in that. Conscious doesn't want to stay there. There's a deep fight going on. I understand people who hear this and say, we are not interested in this. Let me go back and be stuck in my own ways. That is where Osho used to challenge Jitu. That is where they had a little indifference. And Jitu had used to talk a little of what Osho was doing. Jitu was against the guru system and organizations and institutionalization and all that stuff, because he strongly believed that will bind a person, which totally it does. 100% it does. Because they are all temporary systems to make you independent. But if they don't make you independent, the system has failed. And there are a large number of chances that they can not make you independent, either because some lack from that end or from the lack of seekers end. They don't get the message that all the mediators are to lead them further to make them independent. Like Ramana says, the external guru comes into your life by grace, no doubt about it, is God itself, Shiva itself, coming as an external teacher to teach you and guide you that you have an internal teacher, you have an inner guru. External guru's work is to only lead you to your inner guru. And the day you are led to that inner guru is your intellect. When this opens up, the inner guru, you take charge of your life completely. And then nothing is needed. It's not that you leave the guru himself moves out of your way. Please understand this. It is taught wrongly that people leave gurus. Guru moves out of the way because they know that guru can become an obstacle. And this is, didn't Osho tell this again and again? That I can become your obstacle. So Osho, I believe, did it with great knowing and understanding. But somewhere when Jiddu is to talk very clearly about these things, somewhere I think that triggered Osho and he hit back with a valid point, saying that the people who say they don't need gurus are escaping their egos because now they don't need anyone. They can do anything that they want. Yes. And that is what I'm talking about, selective learning. People boast about their loyalty to one guru. I can see them scattered in multiple gurus, multiple organizations. You look at their pages, you'll come to know. They're scattered all over. And they boast about their loyalty to their teacher. Why are they doing that? They're still searching something. They haven't found it out in one place. Hence, they are seeking out in multiple places, but they don't have the courage to admit this. Fakeness, hypocrisy. And then, when you hear the truth, you keep again running. So that's beautifully what Osho pointed. When one says about I don't need anybody, then there is a greater chance of the ego trying to do what it wants to do, selective learning and blah, 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 all that stuff. So when somebody pointed out this to me, I pointed out the other also, the opposite also, because I'm sure Jiddu wouldn't have fought. Jiddu doesn't fight for these things. Jiddu must have understood this, but his work was not with individuals. He never focused on individual. It was just about the systems and the prisons, the matrix, the programming. He had a lot to do with breaking through the matrix. His work was only that. But many people who felt who had themselves been stuck in a matrix felt he was talking to them and they revolted. So he went on doing, Jiddu went on doing his work. But I told the person who pointed out this to me that in that case, forget people going and listening to Jiddu and saying, okay, we don't need anybody and their egos boosting. That is, anyways, for people who have not stimulated and awakened their intellects. Yes, true. But those who have awakened their intellects really don't need anybody from outside. Even they can keep a check on their own ego. That's what the intellect does. Jnanamaya kosha is where the intellect is. Below that is the manomaya kosha. Intellect is always watching the mind. Mind is the disciple and intellect is the guru. Viveka Chudamani. Vivek Chudamani, which is a samvad between the guru and disciple. Vivek is the guru and mind, mana, is the disciple. Like you can see, mind is Parvati and Vivek is Shiva in Devi Kalatra. If you get this all very clear, there is no doubt at all. So, whose Viveka is awakened, they will be even aware of their selective learnings and running around and things like that. They will not say, I don't have anyone to guide me now, so I can do anything, because they know the pros and cons. That is why their intellect is awakened. So, whose intellect is awakened is known as their inner guru is awakened. That is known as Appadipa Bhava, where Buddha said, be a light unto yourself. This is the light when this opens. And this has to open one day. This is what Ramana is telling. Inner guru means here. So people do not know that state. When people do not know that state, they think this teaching is a competition. Funny. So I pointed out, not just that way. If you say that, okay, those who have a teacher are protected by their egos are protected. Show me. I can say so many, because there is normally a belief that I surrender the ego to my guru or master in the Guru Shishya Parampara. See, those Guru Shishya Paramparas were different, where we had just selective Shishyas chosen. They had to go through many filters. Gurus just selected them based on their Viveka and just ignored the rest. They could not enter their ashrams, the rest of them. Today we have everybody. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is called as Shishya. Everybody is known as disciples. It's not true. Because it is those who are not eligible who keep running, who are invested themselves everywhere. That is not the true ones. The true ones will not, once they understand a certain things, protocol, they will stick to it. That is why here in level 2 and level 3, you cannot be doing hundreds of things. It is one thing, just one. If that is there, I point out to them, look, these are the challenges. And if they can't let go, then they cannot get into level 2 and level 3. Because you have to be single pointed towards yourself, nothing other than the self. Third level teaching is nothing other than the self, not even any divine philosophy or any divine person also. To come to that level is not easy, and you cannot come with scattered investments. So, level 2 onwards, it is very much deeply filtered. We don't have people who are scattered everywhere. They might come one or two who might still, but they will not be able to stabilize. Shaktopaya, they will not be able to go further. They will find themselves again and again ejected and find themselves doing Anvapaya practices. That is what I said. It's a foolproof system. So the system takes care of it, anyways. So I told the person who told me about these two, Jiddu and Osho, talking about this. Some says Guru is needed, some says not needed. Both are right on its own, on their own ways, because Guru is needed until a Guru is not needed. I repeat, a Guru is needed until Guru is not needed. A ladder is needed until the ladder is not needed. A book is needed until the book is needed no more. The tool is needed until the tool is needed no more. A concept is needed until it's not needed anymore. A time comes when you should not need anything. That is called freedom. You are by itself. In the state of self realization, other than the self, there are no concepts that can hold. However dear is to you. If you say there is one dear concept, you will go down. What does Shiva say to Parvati? Clearly says that you have come close to me, and Parvati wants to merge with Shiva. And he puts only one condition. Keep doubts aside and become completely still Let go of all beliefs, concepts, all gods, all external practices. Whatever it is, from Patal Loka to Shakti, all has to be given up. Then only you will get me. Anyways, so when I say about, somebody told me that, if you go there, if you say a teacher is not needed, ego will take over. No, a illuminated person will know their own limitations on that and can handle their own life. Okay. But now, what about those who say when the teacher is there, the ego is taken care of? These are all believers. They think the teacher is going to take care of their ego, and they say, Samarpan, we have dedicated, we have given up our ego, and you'll see none of them have actually given up, and nor the teacher can take anybody's ego. It's impossible. Ego can be killed only by you. You cannot even give ego to the Guru. That giver itself is ego. Who's the one who say, I will give my ego to? That's the ego itself. Ego cannot give ego away. Ego cannot kill itself. You need a very different approach to get to this thing called ego, the aham vritti, because the whole life is based on that. You cannot give the ego to anyone. I can challenge on this very, very clearly. Even the best of disciples who say, I've given my ego. Ego is something that dissolves itself by very strong, heightened level of awareness where you actually can watch this ego playing its role. And it's so sukshma, ati sukshma, because ego is very close to the soul. You must have heard of Anandmaya Kosha, right? After the self, Anandmaya Kosha. Then Jnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and then Annamaya Kosha. Physical body comes in the end. Physical body comes from prana, etheric body. Etheric body comes from mind, mental body. Mental body comes from intellectual body, Jnanamaya Kosha. Jnanamaya Kosha is born out of ego. Anandamaya Kosha is ego. Now, if somebody says at pranic level, mind level, body level, I give up my ego, how are they going to give up? Because the ego only is speaking. Aham vritti only is talking this. You cannot give up ego. And that's the beauty of Upadesh Saram. That's the beauty of who am I? Self-inquiry. The practice taught by Lord Vashishta to Rama, and what Ramana is taught to many. How to dissolve the ego. To dissolve the ego, the intellect should be so developed. It has to look up Anandmaya Kosha. And that has to stabilize in the Anandmaya Kosha. When it stabilizes in the Anandmaya Kosha, it realizes. And from there, it exits into the self. That is self-realization. Aham vritti is the last thing to go. It cannot be given in the first, because those who claim that they have given up their ego to the master, then what is functioning in that? You know what happens when you give up the ego? You are in a state of suspendedness, awareness, which is called I amness. You just are aware of I am. Not even this. You don't even have an understanding of which gender you are. That level of awareness is the last level that is needed to kill the Mahishasura, ego. So, what are we talking about? Giving ego at the mind level itself. Impossible. So, I told that person, what you say is not true. Because even being with teachers, you can have the hamvriti until the teacher itself turns to that level where the hamvriti is absent. The student cannot be guided there. It's a very, very thin layer. Even the knowledge of I am a teacher, I am a guru, I am a saint, I am a Mahapurusha itself is ego. There is amount of subtle ego there. So it's not the final, my dear. It's not the final. The state beyond that is the state of Avduta, where even the Avduta doesn't know he or she is an Avduta because the I has completely gone. At that stage, there is no mother, father, husband, wife, brother, sister. There are no children. There are no brothers, sisters. There are no grandfathers and grandparents and granddaughters and grandsons and nieces and nephews and things like that. There are no friends. Na mrityu, na janma, no death, no birth, no friends, no enemies. But you carry one identity. I am someone. I am a divine person. This divine person will have divinity. This will have divine friends. And that identity can have even families and relatives. That is still not the end. Avadut Sthiti is when one transcends everything. Read the Avadut Gita, study the Avadut Gita, you'll come to know. I'm not telling this. If you want, it is there again. Avadut Gita is there and shifting into awareness.com/courses. Go and do it. You'll come to know. And I can relate all these teachings with my life experience because in the south, in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, I I had the blessed opportunity to be with 11 Avadhutas, and none of them had even that awareness of body consciousness. And they relate very closely to and very strongly to Avadhut Gita, what is taught. That level is called the Manonasha, the destruction of the mind, the destruction of the ego. That is the final state. One step to divinity. And Ashtavakra is an Avadhuta. Ashtavakra taught that. And you can see in Osho's teaching or in Osho's preachings or speeches, he referred to Jiddu as Ashtavakra. Osho is a brilliant man, a great soul, because even if he disagreed with something with Jiddu, in the same tone, same sentence he said, but he still Ashtavakra, Jiddu Krishna. Why? Sharp intellect. Jiddu Krishnamurti himself was adopted in his childhood because certain people saw great potential in him because he had a sharp intellect. And thus, this foundation trained him to become the torchbearer, to become the guru of that community. You can Google and find out the rest of the story. But as he got trained and as his intellect sharpened even further, he saw even that as the matrix. Because communities are again having limitations. They're not free. They are not one. They don't go on oneness. They have their own philosophies. Me and mine is strong. Own belief systems and own concepts are strong. They do not include. Watch carefully. They do not include. There is no inclusion. There is only exclusion. Everything is put out. That is different. This is different. This path is different. That is competition. This is we are here. We are there. They are there. All that kind of stuff. And that's a very poor understanding of ultimate spirituality because Shiva Sutras itself says Chaitanya Matma, the first verse. Everything comes from that one Chaitanya. So that simply means most of the communities have not realized this simple, straight, basic foundational truth that everything is coming from the same Chaitanya. So there has to be inclusion. How can you exclude? How can you be special? How can you glorify yourself as the ultimatum, as the only redeemer, as only the path that can give you mukti? Impossible. All the paths, all the religions have their power to take you in its own way. Avadhuts, reality is on this. Read the Avadhut Gita. There is no exclusion. Everything is included. The Avadhuta even doesn't see the difference. They do not know the difference of diversity. We did a webinar on Shambhala one Sunday back or 2 Sundays back. And the primemost teacher of the Shambhala rishis, who include the Sapta rishis, primemost teaching of the great Shambhala masters is oneness. And they say the primary goal, the only goal of every human being is to take the human suit. Through this human suit, experience the diversities of God. That's the only soul agenda of every human being. Isn't that clear? So if we do not have the capacity to enjoy the diversities, we keep on creating more walls between us, superiority and inferiority complex among the people and crowd, distributing and separating everybody in the name of religion and path and lineage and so and so. We are going haywire, completely in the opposite direction. So based on my conviction and my experiences, I simply disagree with this in totality. I cannot buy into that. My inner light, my experiences show me something else. And I have no doubt on it. Not an iota of doubt. And that is why I boldly teach this and share this. These are the teachings of all the ascended masters. Read the Chidakasha Gita. Read it. Study it. You will come to know who Bhagwan Nityananda is. Don't just put garlands on his idols. Don't sing glories of Nityananda. Don't put his posters everywhere. And don't call yourself a devotee. Go and investigate what he's teaching. And let us imbibe those teachings. Let us make it practical. Let us not parrot it. Let us not be selective learners. In Chidakasha Gita, find out how many teachings do we follow. Wahi char, panch teachings of Nityananda is by heart in our mouth. Nirmal man, Nishchal man, Vishal man, sab mitti hai. Sab mitti hai is enough. If you have practiced it clearly, you will see everything is one only. But other than that, there are multiple teachings. 285 verses are there in Chidakasha Gita. If you want to understand, go again. shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You will find Chidakasha Gita, both in Hindi and English, including the practice to get there, to get to Chidakasha. So what I'm saying is, the Shravan is not enough. Just listening. While you listen, you have to reflect every single word. Like when I say, you're not just intellectually gathering information, because then you'll only take selective. But if you take every single word and churn it inside, that is called manthan, manan, that deep reflection which goes on. A deep sadhana takes place even while you are listening. Shravan mein, there is sadhana, if manan is added to it. These three principles are very strong on this platform of shifting into awareness. Whatever you listen, you do Shravan, because listening, you don't believe me just by listening. Reflect on it deeply. Then you can coordinate with what I'm saying. And once you coordinate with what I'm saying through your own experience, then you believe it. Explore, believe, and then once you get an idea of it, practice it. That is called Nididhyasana. So those who do the third one, Nididhyasana will be only those who are able to establish and stabilize them in Shaktopaya. Because they have done Nididhyasana only till now, not just listening to discourses, because sometimes the mind feels, oh, just by listening, I know this also, I know that also. And then they sit. Somebody asked me the other day about something about the self. And when I was giving explanation, said, ah, but that is your experiences. Of course, I can talk only about my experiences. It is crappy and nonsense and silly to expect somebody to give you an experience through talks. If you want experience, then Shravan plus Manan, an experience begins inside. And once you start getting a glimpse of it, Nididhyasana is important. The practice, stern practice, perseverance, consistent practice till you get there, not giving up till you get there. A practice is needed. That turns into experience. So Shambhala masters talk about two enlightenment, two stage of enlightenment. One is intellectual enlightenment, where your viveka activates, and then you listen and you say, "Wow, that's a good teaching. Wow, that's a good teaching." You read scriptures, you say, "Wow, what a truth!" It opens up more. Oh, it gives me more information. Here also, you'll sit many people. They have intellectual illumination, and they say, "Wow, a new secret, new thing has been told." So a time comes when the intellect is so stimulated just by reading quotes of Nisarga or by reading quotes of Jiddu or reading quotes of Ramana. You'll know what they mean. You'll know what they mean. But that is only intellectual enlightenment. Shambhala Master very clearly, beautifully pointed. One must not think one has reached. Many stop here thinking they know they have reached. Ho gaya. Then there is a disappointment that it is not in my experience. You're talking about from your experience. Then follow the one who has experience. If somebody has that experience, what does that mean? That guy is talking to you out of experience. You know it is experience. You are experienced. Then do what he does. Listen to what he says because he is guiding from that angle. And till you have, you proceed beyond intellectual enlightenment, you must not stop. And that is Nididhyasa. Consistent churning and practice leads you to the next enlightenment, that is soul enlightenment. That is called self realization. But before self realization, there is intellectual realization also that is needed. I can see most of you who are on that level, Shaktopaya, are enlightened already intellectually, though nobody has told you. Because without that intellectual enlightenment, you cannot understand Shaktopaya and beyond. So, but that's not enough. It has to be stabilized. So now there is a very clear picture of all these things. But the root thing remains that decision is in your hand. Choice is always up to you. You only have to take the decision and proceed further. No one can choose for you. Even the greatest of master outside cannot choose for you. Nor will any great master interfere in your life by taking decisions on your behalf. Anybody who takes decisions on your behalf or keeps taking decisions on your behalf is only making you more helpless, is only making you more dependent on external things. They are not freeing you. In Shaktopaya, you will catch on to things that only frees you, not binds you. In Anvopaya, there are things which will only bind you. All the systems and outside institutions can only give a system that binds you to them. You have to see that very clearly. You have to investigate and see, am I getting more binded by these things to people, places, and things, or am I getting free from it? It is a triangular circle, my dear. The journey upwards is a narrow circle, narrow journey. What is Mahameru in Sri Vidya? Bottom is all grossness. And what happens as you ascend to higher levels? All the grossness keeps going. And what is left in the Bindu? Only Shaktis remain. That is Malalita Tripur Sundari. And that's not enough. That Bindu is not enough. The Bindu is Shakti. The Bindu also has to disappear. That is Devi Kalutra. Devi Kalutra begins at Bindu level. The whole scripture. If you want to study Devi Kalutra, again go to shiftingintoawareness.com/courses. You'll get it there. Understand that. What is that? Hindi and English, both it is there. In fact, I'll be doing this month again. This month or somewhere. Devi Kalatra, I'll do it again for new people also if they are interested. These are not for people who are strongly in Anvopaya. They can continue with whichever path they are if they have interest outside. But if people are there on that zone where whatever they are doing is still, they feel stuck and they have no more connectivity to it, but they are wanting their internal practices, then most welcome. Shifting to awareness. It is only meant for those people. It begins from Shaktopaya. It is not, it doesn't train you in any external practices. So these filters are very, very clear here. Anyways, I think now these things are very clear. And so we will be having level 1 and 2 retreats in Arunachala, maybe in February, March, one. The other will be in July. And in November will be level 3. But level 3 will be again open only to people who have done level 1 and 2. It's not open to everybody. Those who have done 2, like we did recently, Shaktopaya, only for them. And it might be a very small group also, because not everybody might get through. You need to stabilize it. As I said, these are not certificates that anybody who has done level 2 can just get in there. No, the stability. How much have we come to the level of being? How much of let go? How much of releases? How much of healing we have done? If you observe very carefully in retreat, level 1, we did only self healing for 2 days. Deep self healing, deep purging, and deep levels of manifestations on all level. We did the Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra Tattva, understanding the vibrations and operating at a vibrational level, not at the gross level. We did everything on Mantra Maheshwara, the vibrancy, Spandana, Nada. Because level 2 is all operation on vibration, not even thoughts. It's all vibration and feelings. It has nothing to do anymore even with thoughts or words. Words to bahut dur ki baat. Word is Vaikhari. Thought is Madhyama. We did Pashyanti, vibrations. So at the vibrational level, you are equipped with Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. With that vibrations, you can create. With that vibration, you can maintain already what you've got. And the third level, you can destroy if you feel you have done, created, and maintained everything now. There is nothing else left. That's the Rudra Tattva. Rudra Tattva is also for healing, releasing all that is unwanted from the past and present. Some certain things in my life was there. It was created, then it was maintained. Now I don't need it. It doesn't serve my purpose. You can simply dissolve it. That's called healing, self healing. That's what we did deeply in level 1. And even in 2, almost every day, we used to do this. Deep inner pearl. I do not talk much on this on the platforms because simply I do not want to attract sick people. This is only to attract seekers towards self realization. And as I specified very clearly, only those who are eligible, who have deep longing to liberate and self realize, for them, these tools can be given to remove the obstacles like heal and release for them because their objective is higher. But these tools will never ever be presented on an open level, like in webinars and courses and all that. It will not, it will be deeply in retreats only. So it's very serious. What we are talking is very, very serious. We have the grades of Arunachala, which is triggering everything, and guidance, which is obviously coming from Arunachala and Ramana Tattva, which is nothing but Shiva. And that is how Shiva Sutras also are flowing from there. We are going deeply with those depth of the teachings from Shiva Sutras. We in fact began even Ashtavakra Gita in this level. We contemplated it deeply, but Ashtavakra Gita has two levels. It has Shaktopaya and it has Shambhopaya also. We didn't do the Shambhopaya because I simply do not want to go into scriptures and learn and be entertained by what Ashtavakra said to Raja Janaka. It is not about entertainment that you can all go online also and read. It is about practicing every verse. And when you come to the middle in Ashtavakra, you will see you are not eligible. I am not capable enough to do that because there is so much of giving up that is needed. So we might not be ready. I said, okay, let's not hurry. Practices let us do only in the start stage. We stopped it. But the scripture I will be doing webinar so that you have an understanding. It's not a webinar, it will be a 15-day, like 2 hours a day, Ashtavakra. Maybe in the start of December only. Let me see. So that December we'll see Ashtavakra and two good webinars again on higher levels, because from January again I'm planning to go again little more softer for people who are very new and they have not got on the path. Because what I can see is many are joining in these months, but they come and they cannot get understanding. They are not able to get a grasp because we are simply proceeding for the past 2 3 years. It's a progression. I have not stopped. I have not gone back in any of these sessions. We are going deeper, contemplative and all that. They can't understand. So I believe they must be given an opportunity in 2025. They can also come to Arunachala as level 1 practices. So level 1 will be there in the, I think, February. I'll tell the dates. So all those people who are very new can simply come and enjoy and understand Arunachala, the depths of Arunachala, this place, the temple, the hill, the samadhis, the caves, the connection with them, the starting of their own journey of cleansing and purity and deepening and connecting to the grace of Arunachala. All those things, what I have done many times back. And for 2 years, I have not done because we are focusing on higher teachings. So this batch is very good developed. So they will be continued. They will get continued guidance towards level 3 separately. But at the same time, if anybody wants new, they can come in for all the details. Right from the start, how the beginning of shifting into awareness we began, right from the basics. And they have a good opportunity for the next 2 years if they very diligently follow those. There are very good chances of reaching somewhere. Leaps of consciousness happens here, as it is already tried and tested very well. So it will be welcome to all the new peoples who came multiple times and who could not able to connect or understand. They asked so many questions, but it was so basic. I had no time to get into it. But now I think I can spend time with them. I don't care even if it is 10 people. for the next 2 years. I don't care the number. I need keen people who are dedicated, because you can see when you are dedicated, I am dedicated 100%. It is not about even money and time and things like that. We have very low cost retreat charges comparatively. Because my intention is that nobody should miss out because of economy factors. So those things are all taken care of to as much as possible. It is not about money. You can see if it is money. In the retreats, when you go like level two, there is no time limits. I'm available all the time to everybody. Everybody is treated equally. In large groups, you cannot treat everybody. Here, we personally know everybody, and everybody can personally sit. And because there is so much of time, even after sessions, people can sit, discuss, get over things, even specialized, separate sessions are conducted for even few people, as good as two, three people also. That also happened. That's not a promise or something. It's spontaneous. If there is that intense desire, there is no time. You cannot put them into the bracket of money and time and all that. It's simply a deep investigation, a deep involvement. And that's possible only at the feet of Arunachala. So we will also have Ganesh Puri one retreat in the first half of 2025 only, because some of them said we have missed it and we want, some are connected to that area. Definitely you can. So probably that's also somewhere in the first half of the year only. That also I will let know about it. I do not know about Uttarkashi yet, but maybe summers there will be one Kanjangad possibility, because there is Ganesh Puri. So Kanjangad is always on the hold, and we do not have much good, strong facilities there. Once we have that, probably in this year, if we have, good, we will have one. But it's very hot, so it will be in the cooler times. And then, of course, we have one coming up in Delhi, Ghaziabad areas. You can see, and some probably even out of India. I do not know. Last time also we had this plans, but it's all the wish. Whatever is needed, it will happen. Of course, I have invites from at least 4 countries now. But again, as I said, I'm not too very keen on going on just, rampantly. It has to have a purpose. So I'm just saying, if there are keenness even in those areas, then only we will proceed with that. Otherwise, online is much better, I feel. Whatever the will, we'll do accordingly. If you have any questions or anything to say, you can please let know. All details will be put at the appropriate time. I cannot put any details right now. I cannot tell who is in or out right now. Many were rejected last time also. Please understand, rejection means your preparedness. There is no argument. I wouldn't like to talk anything further about it. If it is a yes, yes. If it is a no, no. There is no further justification needed on any of these things. You see that you are prepared properly. You are ready to face some direct truths in a straight way. You are ready and courageous and going to be sincere, loyal, and having pure intention. That is one thing. Pure intention. That is first thing that we see here. No gafla, no fickle-mindedness, no cunningness, no trying to break some things and get something and all those things are just eradicated. Just we come to know just like that. So you take care of that. I'm just concerned and bothered about more about very sincere and humble and loving and down to earth and simple people. Here we might be very stern. Ask the people who come for retreats. We are not stern there. We have a certain understanding and rapport within each other. And there is certainly a lot of love flowing amongst the whole family. Everybody takes care of each other. It's a different zone altogether. But for that, we need simple. So there, even though the broad-minded, the narrow-minded cannot fit in there. So automatically it will get filtered out. So all those things are needed. You work out on all those things, and we have lot of content, lot of material here, which I will streamline in this coming year in various formats, probably even in the text formats. Or let me see. However, don't. It's too early to say anything, but I can see a lot of people coming forward from various countries also to help me, to support me in this, because somewhere they feel they are a part of it and they can do their best in various ways. I wouldn't want to reveal anything right now, but most welcome. I thank everybody who has such good feeling, and I believe it's Arunachal only giving you that kind of a thought, because it is Arunachal only who does even care everything. Yeah, okay. So then, thank you everybody. I don't think you have any questions today. Today I was a little slow on trying to understand, trying to put these things, because I have not settled down completely after coming. It's been a different zone altogether. There are some things that which we practiced in Arunachala, and it's so deep. All those who did Arunachala retreat, I would say, watch the movie Inception. I always had this in the mind. Today I watched an Interstellar. Movies like this, it will deeply give you an understanding of how this mind works and the multiple realities, the dimension, knowing that there is no this loka, that loka outside of you. And even if you have heard it multiple times, all lokas are inside, universe is inside. In level two, we experienced it. Experience is important more than the teaching, because teaching can hallucinate you. You'll simply think, oh, universe is inside. You don't know how. You don't know how the lokas are inside. You do not know how I astral travel. You do not know how I move the same person being in one place. How can I move through consciousness into dream state, into deep sleep state, into Jagrat, awakened state, and also into different dimensions. Sometimes in that dimension, sometimes in this dimension, sometimes in lower dimension. But I am in one place. How everything is at the same level here, but we create realities based on our frequencies. We attract people and situation. You can live in parallel universes at the same time. You can be in multiple. We are actually multiple, probabilities. But where our consciousness is, we have that kind of an experience. It's very deep. All these things are deep, and that as you deepen this journey, you'll start getting experiences of us. You have not put your last webinar in your course online before going. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever is supposed to come on the course will come. Whatever is not supposed to come, it will simply not come. So please do not ask for any webinar that has not come online on the course. It is not meant to be, because there are some courses which is better to stay only in the practices. Something like even Paravani, I don't think that will come out in the courses. I don't think even Shambhala will come out in the courses. Those are all meant for live webinars and just a transition. I do not want to put them to public. So whatever comes, that's how you take. And webinars, if you want to do, you can sign up. And the people who are living out of India are given the option of recordings, which will exist for 24 hours. They will have to view it before 24 hours. Otherwise, it will get deleted from the cloud. And there are protocols to see that you are taking care of the privacy. of those things, because once we find somebody is not adherent to it, they can no more apply or be a part of this group. Once expelled, they're out. Then they cannot come back into it. So one has to be very careful when we are moving here. As I told, I'm not going to be forever teaching these things. Even I have my limited time to be playing this game here of a teacher or guide or whatever. Even you have limited time. So let us not think we are here all forever. Your teachers are forever, you are forever. It's all limited time. In that limited time, we must make use of it. And that's what I'm trying to make out in the next whatever number of years I'm allowed to do or made to do this. Fine, till then. So before that, you must get free as much as you can. Okay. So I think that's it for today. See you some other time. And I think I believe I'm going to start live sessions in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, maybe this couple of days, coming days, a short time, which will be open for everybody. So maybe you can join there. But these sessions which are there for the family here, that will continue. Deep session for retreat people will also continue. Now we will have contemplative sessions only limited to people who are doing the higher practices of in webinars, practices, and retreats. Only for them, deep contemplative session. I'm not opening it up anymore for everybody. So that is to promote and encourage you to get into practice. Hold on to a practice, and those who practice, then I would like to sit with them and then do deep contemplation. So that will deepen your journey. So those who do not practice, who are only looking for something called free satsang and time pass satsang, 1 hour I'll come, 15 minutes I'll sit and go on all that. It's not for them. You can do time pass here, free clarity session, question answer sessions. You can do a lot of time pass here. So you can see it's tighten up all these things. So I'll end this session here now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudayachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be blessed. May we all be free. May we all evolve. May we be blessed always. Be blessed. Bye.